Congressman Shaw, thank you so much for that great introduction. And I couldn't think of a better day or a better place to be than with my fellow Americans standing out here and talking about how we've been taxed enough already and we are sick and tired of what's happening in Washington, D.C. So God bless you all for being here. Before I get started, as I was leaving out of my house in Plantation, my daughter came running out. She said, "Dad, you got an email from Ron Klein. It's a message that he wants you to send to all the people down here at the Tea Party rally." So let me read you Ron Klein's message. There is no message. That's why Ron Klein is going to come home in November, because he is afraid to stand in front of the American people that he is supposed to represent, which the Constitution says he is supposed to be your voice in Washington, D.C. He does not understand a very simple thing that I learned in the United States military, that it's about honor, it's about integrity, it's about character, it's about serving the people, it's about sacrificing, and it's a commitment to the Constitution of these United States of America. Now, I've been called a lot of names in my military career. So the message I want to send to people, it does not matter if you call me an Oreo. It does not matter if you call me an Uncle Tom. It does not matter if you call me a token. It does not matter if you call me a sellout, an anti-Semite, or any other of these names that they're calling me, because I stand with the American people. Because all that does, it just fires me up in the belly. And it makes me dig my heels in even harder. Because I know that who we are is greater than the people that want to put this country down and change it into something that will be unrecognizable for our children and grandchildren. I go to Washington, D.C. for one thing primarily. It's your fiscal security. Because if we are going to have economic growth in the United States of America, if we are going to have investment, ingenuity, innovation, that does not come from Washington, D.C. That comes from each and every one of you standing out here. That means that we have to transfer the wealth away from the inept, incompetent, and corrupt politicians that are led by Nancy Pelosi, and give you back your wealth. Give it back to the small business people. Give it back to the individual American, so that we can secure the future and the legacy for our children and grandchildren. I love you too. When you look at the statistic that was put out last week, where 47% of Americans are not paying taxes, but yet that 47%, they still vote. So it's very easy for a manipulative government that is seeking to retain power to look to them and say, you get free health care, you get a free house, you get a free car, we're going to pay for your education, you're going to get free appliances, all on the backs of the 53% that I'm sure are standing here right now. That's not what America is supposed to be. I am sick and tired of a government that is about creating more victims and making people more and more dependent upon government so the government can grow. When you look at this health care law that was signed by President Obama, it is not about health, it is not about care. It is about 111 new government agencies and funds that are being created. And I have to tell you something right now. If we're going to grow this economy, there's three things that we should not be doing: printing more money, borrowing more money, and raising taxes. But as Paul Volcker said last week, we are going to have to raise taxes on the American people, because they don't care if it gets to the point where your marginal tax rate is at 70%. They don't care if you only take 1/3 of your earnings home. They don't care if they drive small businesses into the ground, because it's all about the concentration of power in Washington, D.C. It is all about the nationalization of our production, being it the finance industry, the automobile industry, the healthcare. If cap and trade goes through, that means the energy sector. They put an amendment on the healthcare bill, so now that college education education loans have to go through the government. The number one tenet of socialist ideology is to nationalize production. And who would have ever thought that it would be happening right here in the United States of America? The time is now for each and every one of us to rise up, recommit ourselves to the founding fathers, the Constitution, the Federalist Papers, the lifeblood that's been shed so we can stand here and enjoy our First Amendment rights. If we're not careful, what will you leave your children and your grandchildren? Are you willing to look at them right now and say that, I'm sorry? But can you find it in your heart and soul? Can you find it in your gut to stand up at this critical and decisive moment in the history of this great republic and say, I will not surrender the United States of America. I will not surrender the constitutional republic that was left to us. I will not let you take away the future of my child or my grandchild. Now is the time, and there will never be another opportunity like what we have in November of 2010. For 22 plus years of my life, I wore fatigues and boots. And when you did not know me, I would answer the phone call in the middle of the night to go off and make sure that you slept peacefully in your houses. Send me to Washington, D.C. so that I can just go now in a different uniform but continue to protect you, your fiscal security, and also your physical security. God bless you all. God bless